Hey everybody, one down, hopefully many more to go. December 1st, 2024. Just finished recording the first installment of the renewed Darin to be Different radio show podcast. You can find that on the Mixcloud platform. You can either download the app, Mixcloud, 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 or you can go to their website, mixcloud.com/LAFOS, which stands for Lost and Found Oldie Show, a radio program I've been doing on the platform for a couple of years after I left WVKR in upstate New York. And if you go to the Mixcloud app or the website to find this particular show, put in a tag Bobby Darin, Darin to be Different. I'm the user. I'm LAFOS, LAFOS. That's how you find the program. Hopefully what you've done this in the correct order, and you've already listened to that radio show. And now I'm going to be telling you a little bit more in depth about some of the recordings I played, why I chose them, why they had special significance to me or to you, probably, if you're a Bobby Darin fan. And if you're not a Bobby Darin fan, and you just kind of know some of him on the surface, you may have heard a little bit about this Broadway musical coming up in 2025 in the springtime, thinking, who is this Bobby Darin guy? Well, yeah, I know Splish Splash, I know Dream Lover, Beyond the Sea, why are they making a whole musical about this? Hopefully this radio show will bring to light some of the reasons. It's really interesting when I posted this podcast and I looked for it to see how it came out on YouTube. And I entered Bobby Darin podcast in the search. Another Bobby Darin podcast came up, and the presenters they read wonderfully. They took turns reading. I don't want to say they were taking it from a Wikipedia page, but it made me kind of wonder if they'd ever listened to a Bobby Darin recording or had seen a Bobby Darin movie, let alone watch one of the many variety shows that Bobby Darin guested on. So you guys read really well, though. And thanks for bringing Bobby Darin to light. You've done a lot of shows about performers in the last 2 weeks, and I guess you're really into it. But this one, Darin to be Different, does dare to be different in terms of the musical selections I play and why I play them. Again, if you haven't listened, this is going to be a spoiler alert, so it's more fun to hear them and be surprised by the recordings rather than listening to this first and looking at my face talk. I might put some images on that. I don't think I'll have time for this one, but in the future, so you don't have to just look at me sitting in my high-tech studio here. Okay. I started the show off with Bobby Darin singing Just in Time, Just in Time being the name of the musical that's coming to Broadway in the spring of 2025, as I mentioned before. This is from a musical called Bells Are Ringing. Betty Comden, Adolph Green wrote the score. It's an odd choice, I think, to title the musical about Bobby Darin Just in Time, because he had not put out a studio recording in the many albums he recorded in his career. This first appeared posthumously after he had died. And he did perform the song as part of a medley on the Ed Sullivan Show in, I believe, 1962. The version that I played was recorded in January 1963. By the way, I should tell you, I get a lot of my information either from Jeff Blyle's That's All book, or very often Bobby Darin, The Ultimate Listener's Guide, written by Shane Brown. Oh my God, it is just everything you'd want to know about Bobby Darin's performing career, television appearances, recording personnel, studio dates. I mean, just chock full. Look how thick this thing is. And it's like a freaking phone book here, right? But it's for the hardcore Bobby Darin fan, and just an invaluable resource. Shane Brown, kudos to you. The version I played Just in Time was on these, I think it was released in 1999, Spotlight on Bobby Darin, Great Gentleman of Song, something that Capitol Records, one of their subsidiaries, put out, spotlighting artists of back in the day. There was Nat King Cole, Vic Damone, Bobby Darin, of course. I think Mel Torme, a whole bunch. Great Gentleman of Song. And that's where that version of Just in Time came from. And if you're wondering what Jonathan Groff, maybe you're not familiar with him, maybe not a household name if you're not a Broadway aficionado. Groff won the Tony Award in 2023 for Merrily We Roll Along. I played a little snippet. He played a role, I think King George, sorry, didn't see Hamilton, called What Comes Next. That's what Jonathan Groff sounds like. It was obviously affecting that kind of accent, pompousness, is that even a word? I don't know. But that gives you, I'll be playing other Jonathan Groff tunes in upcoming shows to show off his voice. He's really, really revered in Broadway circles. People are just super excited about Just in Time just to see Jonathan Groff. So no questioning this man's talent, none whatsoever. What do you think? Comment there. Did you like the song? Do you like Jonathan Groff? You think he's a good choice? Bobby Darin? What do you think? Somebody could have done better? Who would you suggest? That's the kind of things that I want to kind of interact with you guys about, because I have my opinions and I'm sure that you have yours, and they're all valid, and just love to know what you're thinking. I also played, let's see, Michael Franks down in Brazil. Casey Musgraves, I played The Architect. What I didn't mention is that the Deeper Well CD that came out this year in 2024, I think one of, if not the best overall recordings I have heard this entire year. If you liked The Architect, just about every song is kind of in that kind of nice, mellow, zone out, zen vein. And her voice is just magnificent. She's coming to my area soon. I'd really like to go see her. So I just might go. I don't know. I played Jack Jones, You've Let Yourself Go. Fantastic songwriting by Charles Aznavour from a Jack Jones album, Write Me a Love Song, Charlie, which was released in 1975. Jack Jones, of course, recently passing away here. The Love Boat, that's Jack Jones, in case you're not so familiar with him. I kind of got into some Jack Jones. I do a radio show called Forgotten Hits Superchart Show this year that focused on hits from 1964 in honor of Beatlemania. And I played some Jack Jones, and I was struck. It got me wondering more about him because I really didn't know much about him. I discovered that I kind of like him. He had a pretty long recording career, not a bunch of hit singles or anything. He had a few in the mid-'60s, and then just put out albums like Andy Williams and Johnny Mathis did, doing covers of other songs in the 70s, until, again, he reached new heights with the Love Boat theme. That's Jack Jones. But before Jack Jones's You've Let Yourself Go, written by Charles Aznavour, after that I played Bobby Darin's Venice Blue, from title track from his 1965 album, which is kind of a different kind of style. I'm surprised that the label thought it would make a decent single. I don't know. What do you think? You a fan of Venice Blue? There's some, I think, really good tracks on that album, but overall not my favorite. I also played in that set Cynthia Erivo's version from Wicked of I'm Not That Girl, which, come on, you love me some, you love you some Idina Menzel, right? Or what did John Travolta, how did he pronounce it at that award show? Nazim Valdir, or something like that. Cynthia and Ariana Grande have been making the rounds on talk shows promoting Wicked. And what I was always struck by is, I'm looking at the soundtrack cast list. I haven't seen the movie. I mean, it's Glicked season, right? Gladiator 2 and Wicked. You got to see both, maybe like Barbie and Oppenheimer, Boppenheimer, whatever the hell it was called, Barbenheimer or something, whatever, last year. So you got to go see both, maybe all at the same time. But I was looking at the soundtrack there on YouTube from the movie, and I'm like, the best freaking song from Wicked isn't even on there. Like, For Good, I think it's called. And then I just saw recently that they're making a Wicked 2. So I guess it's already in the can. Like Ariana and Cynthia Erivo have already did it. So I guess For Good is going to be in Wicked 2. I don't know. Maybe you know more than I do about that. I saw Wicked on Broadway, and when I saw it with Idina Menzel, but Kristen Chenoweth had a understudy, but it was still fantastic. I mean, it was way back, a few years after it opened. Probably the first year, maybe, if they were both still in it. But Cynthia Erivo's version blew me away. I mean, oh my God, I can't wait to see the movie just for that. So hope you liked it too. Let me know. After that, I had a double dose of Darin, which I said on the show, so I'll explain what I meant by that. James Darin sang The Lively Set, and this came out in 1964, also featured on my Forgotten Hits Superchart show not long ago. And this is from a movie, kind of a flop motion picture that James Darin was in. Kind of a cool soundtrack, if you can find it. I got to pull it up here on the phone. It was on the Decca Records label, and Joni Summers, who was romantically linked with Bobby Darin, sang one of the songs in there called If You Love Him, and Look at Me, which Bobby Darin also recorded. Wink Martindale of all people. Do you remember him from Deck of Cards? Had that kind of a novelty single, but also he was a game show host. Wasn't he the original Card Sharks guy, I think? I know he was a game show host back in the 70s. Wink Martindale. And leading off the soundtrack was The Lively Set by James Darin. And why it's a double dose of Darin is that Bobby Darin himself wrote the score. He wrote The Lively Set, wrote the end title, If You Love Him, for Joni Summers and Growl. And yeah, so double dose of Darin there for you. James Darin, of course, also romantically linked with Sandra Dee and all those Gidget films. So after that, I felt an urge to play Do It While We're Young. Sandra Dee, a 1960 recording, kind of a flop, in meaning that it didn't make the national charts. What'd you think of her singing? Sandra Dee, not a bad voice. There's a guy named George Carpinone who has been working for the longest time, and I think it's near completion, of this Sandra Dee biography. So that should be coming out pretty soon. I think it's going to be so thick that it's going to make this Shane Brown book look like a pamphlet. So the guy's been working on it a long time. Can't wait till it comes out. Come on, George, let's get that out there. I might have George come on the show sometime. Have other people guests with me in this part of the podcast, and we'll see how that goes. Who have some knowledge of Bobby Darin music. Maybe we get Shane Brown himself to come on. That'd be pretty cool. After that, I played Chet Baker's She Was Too Good to Me. You might remember that that was a Rodgers and Hart composition from, I think in 1920s. I forgot which show it was from, but a female sang it. So a lot of versions are called He Was Too Good to Me. Chet Baker, title track from his 1975 album, changed the pronoun to she. I have heard the versions in the past by Carly Simon on her My Romance LP, CD, and also Bette Midler on Some People's Lives. The song never really resonated with me, even though I'm a huge Carly fan, I'm a huge Bette fan. Man, when I heard Chet Baker's version, oh my God, it's like, wow, I'm hearing this for the first time. So I hope you enjoyed it too. It really sets that mood if you're like having a martini by the fire, which hopefully a lot of the show did. You can just kind of put it on and just kind of zone out too. That was the goal. Chet Baker, She Was Too Good to Me. There's also a killer version by the Vogues, if you remember the Vogues. Turn Around, Look at Me, Till, and of course 5 O'Clock World, but I digress. We had after Chet, as in Betty Buckley. That was Betty Buckley who sang Get Here. Brenda Russell wrote it. She put out a single in 1988, I believe, but it became a bigger hit for a woman named Alita Adams, and I believe 1991, and that was like the hit single hit version that a lot of people know. But Betty Buckley, along with Kenny Werner, doing the producing and arranging and the instrumentation, just I think knocks it out of the park. I'm a huge Betty Buckley fan. Seen her live, 3 or 4 times, maybe 5. Interpreted for her in sign language in Manhattan. Way back when, way back in the day. So huge Betty fan. But I played Betty Buckley. I don't know who the other casts who else is going to be in the cast of Just in Time. But if they have not yet cast the role of Polly, Bobby Darin's grandmother, woman he thought was his mother, his real mother was named Nina. Betty Buckley might be a good choice to play Polly. Are they even going to cast those roles? I don't even know. I've heard nothing else about casting for this show. I do believe I just read there was a stage reading with Jonathan Groff for a fundraiser in Virginia in November. You might want to Google and look that up. And I guess it went over really well. Signature Theater, I think that's what it's called. Anyway, just read about that. Then I did a little game that was asking you to read the DJ's mind. I played 3 songs before I played a Bobby Darin song, and what was the connection of all those 3 songs that would lead you to know what the 4th song I was going to play. This one was really tough, really obscure. I played Linda Etter's When I Look at You from The Scarlet Pimpernel, a Broadway musical. Okay, but then I played Cat Stevens' Sweet Scarlet from Catchpole for 1972 album by Cat, and followed by Sinead O'Connor's version of Scarlet Ribbons, which was a hit single for the Browns in 1959. So many versions of that, but I think Sinead's voice really lends itself well to that. I can't believe Sinead's gone. Come to think of it, can you? It's like, when I think about that, I'm like, damn, what a talent. If you haven't read her memoir autobiography, it is definitely a must read for sure. But the thing that they all had in common was that they mentioned was something to do with Scarlet, and there's a line in Mac the Knife that Scarlet billows. So that's what it was. I mean, that was pretty hard. I don't think nobody got that, right? Nobody got that. I didn't remember which live version that I had picked out to play for you, so I had to look it up. It was from the Live at the Flamingo, the Curtain Falls CD, which was released in 2000. The performance itself was from November 9th, 1963. Again, I got this information from the Shane Brown Ultimate Listener's Guide here. I don't know this stuff off the top of my head, although a lot of it I've memorized because I've been doing this for so long now. I became a huge Bobby Darin fan. I wasn't until my discovery in 2009. Then I just like devoured, ate up, consumed everything I could say. I think I've seen every photograph that there is. Every so often on one of those Facebook, like the Bobby Darin Facebook, Bobby Darin Fan Club Facebook page, or Bobby Darin Forever Facebook page. Those are the 2 ones that are my go-tos. Somebody will post up something new. I'll go, I haven't seen that before. I'm not a huge Facebook fan, so if I'm not liking what you're posting, it's not that I don't like it. It's probably because I haven't seen it, because I don't log on all that often. I probably will a little bit more to promote this, but just not much of a social media guy, I guess. But yeah, Roger McGuinn played on that session of Mac the Knife. Really good form in there. And it was on this date in 1959 that Bobby Darin was spending his 9th non-consecutive week at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. He had the #1 single of 1959 with Mac the Knife. I just thought of something. It was 6 weeks at the top on the Billboard Hot 100, interrupted by Mr. Blue by the Fleetwoods. 3 more weeks at #1. Then it was finally replaced for good by, that classic, Heartaches by the Number by Guy Mitchell. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't even remember how it goes. It was #1, right? Which song do you remember? Mac the Knife or Heartaches by the Number? Or Mr. Blue? I don't know. What I forgot to mention here, though, just made me think of it, talking about anniversaries. December 2nd, 1959, Bobby Darin appeared on This Is Your Life. The whole clip is available on YouTube, and it's fascinating to me. You get to see Bobby Darin's, the one he thought was his sister at the time, Nina, and who later turned out to be his mother. You get to see Bobby Darin's nephew, Gary. You see his nieces, V and Vanna, coming out. You see Sammy Davis Jr., Steve Blauner, Don Kirshner, all singing his praises, and Bobby very humbly, and you can tell he wasn't expecting it. It's just a fantastic piece of footage. I can't believe it's still up there. Really amazing. Also, other great video footage on the Bobby Darin Fan Club YouTube channel. I don't know where these people are finding this stuff, but it's, co-producer Shotzi is excited about it too. And also, recording this today, December 1st, 2024. On December 1st, 1960, Bobby and Sandra Dee got married, tied the knot. It was Bobby's and Sandra's first marriage, and it was Bobby's first of 2. Of course, we know that ended in divorce, produced 1 child, a son, Darin, who, if you watch him, let's get together soon. I'm I still want to meet this guy. Right? I still want to have some kind of a relationship, especially since we might be in the same proximity with this musical coming up. I don't know. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the program. I hope I exposed you to some Bobby Darin recordings that you maybe not have been familiar with, and some of the other music also touched your heart, captivated you in some way, held your interest. I hope to do another one. I'm probably doing these every, I don't know, week to 2 weeks maybe, depending on schedule fits. So if you have any suggestions in the comments, please, I would really appreciate it. Songs you might want to hear, other features. If I made a mistake, if I made a boo-boo, if I said something dumb, let me know that too. Okay? Thanks for watching, and remember, keep calm, listen to Bobby Darin. Thanks.